Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, what we will try to understand is there are two functions which are crucial and can be used in several scenarios where you would like to show the selections made by the user only when they selected a single value from a slicer, for example. So suppose you have a slicer and you want to show the value of a slicer when they selected only a single item from the slicer. Maybe you want to show that in a KPI. So basically you would like to understand whether the user has made just one selection in the slicer or multiple selections in the slicer. So the two functions that are available here is there is a function called HASONEVALUE and also there is a function called SELECTEDVALUE. Both the functions work in a similar way. It is just that SELECTEDVALUE is probably slightly easier to do. So I'll show you that in an example here. So for example, first what we will try to do here is we will place a filter here. So I select the slicer and then I will select product name from my products table. So here we see the products we have. I'm just going to okay, so we have 4 products in our product name slicer, and then what we will try to do is we will create two measures, one using HASONEVALUE and the second one using SELECTEDVALUE, and then we will see how both these functions work. So I'll create a new measure on the products table. I will say example okay, let's say product name. So this is the condition. So the true value is, so whenever they select one single item from the product's name, what I can do here is I can use values function, and then you can use this because values function, although it returns a table as an output, but when you have a single item in the table with just one row and one column, we can use this as a scalar value which we can use to show in the KPI, which we are going to see in just a second. So if the condition becomes true, we are going to return the value that is selected by using the values function, and then as a false condition we will say multiple products. This is using HASONEVALUE. Now we will write another measure which is using SELECTEDVALUE and try to achieve the same result. So I come here, new measure, SELECTEDVALUE, example. So this is slightly easier to write. So SELECTEDVALUE, and then I select the column against which I need to check whether just one value is selected or not, and then the second argument is optional. So here we can say multiple products as the optional or the alternate result. Ready. So now we have both the measures ready. What we will try to do is we'll drag two KPIs. And then the first one we'll use HASONEVALUE, and for the second one we will use SELECTEDVALUE. Okay, now because there are no selections made at this point, so it assumes that all the values in the product name comes into effect. So we are seeing that since the condition is becoming false in both the cases, it is showing us the alternate result. Suppose if I select any specific value from the slicer, you see that since I selected just one element from my slicer, it is showing us the value that has been selected. So the difference between both these functions is, in fact, there is no significant difference between both these functions. They try to achieve the same thing. The only thing is, in the selected value function, you don't need to write that additional if condition to check whether there is only one value or not, because selected value does it for you automatically. So it is just slightly easier to do, or maybe easier to write, instead of using has one value, because you don't need to write that extra step of using an if condition. So I hope you understand this. Thank you so much for watching the video.